Welcome to this week's webinar. This is Sara Flack, the Child Advocacy Center at the Finger Lakes Education Coordinator, and today I'll be talking about ways to help reduce kids' anxiety during the return to school. As we know, this year has posed a lot of significant changes and challenges, not only for ourselves as adults, but also for our children. As we are approaching the return to school for many of our local children, whether that be via an online format, a hybrid, or fully returning to school, we must understand and acknowledge that our children will be facing and feeling severe increases in anxiety. Here are some ways that you can help reduce their anxiety before returning to school. You may be asking yourself, your child is scared to go back to school. How can you help calm their nerves? Starting school or starting a new school year can be stressful at the best of times, let alone during a global pandemic. You can help ease your child's fears by having an open conversation about what is worrying them and letting them know that it's natural to feel anxious. Children may feel nervous or reluctant to return to school, especially if they have been learning at home for months. Be honest. For example, you could go through some of the changes they may expect at school, such as needing to wear forms of protective clothing like masks. Children may also find it difficult being physically distanced from friends and teachers while at school. You could encourage them to think about other ways to bond and stay connected. Reassure children about safety measures in place to keep students and teachers healthy, and remind children that they can also prevent germs spreading by washing their hands with soap and coughing or sneezing into their elbow. Remind children about the positives, that they will be able to see their friends and teachers, even if they are not physically returning to the classroom, and continue learning new things. How can I encourage my child to follow safety measures at school without scaring them? Some safety measures that have been taken into consideration are ones such as wearing protective face coverings, frequently washing hands, and physical distancing. One of the best ways to keep children safe from COVID-19 and other diseases is to simply encourage regular hand washing. It doesn't need to be a scary conversation. Sing along with their favorite song or do a dance together to make learning fun. Make sure to teach them about how, even though germs are invisible, they could still be there. When children understand why they need to wash their hands, they're likely to continue doing so. Also, be sure to teach your children how to cover a cough or a sneeze with their elbow, and ask them to tell you if they start to feel like they have a fever, cough, or have difficulty breathing. Practicing often and regularly will help reduce the amount of anxiety that children are feeling. My child's use is requiring the use of face masks, which is frightening to my child. What should I say? Approach the conversation with empathy, saying that you know he or she is feeling anxious about coronavirus, but that it's healthy to talk about our worries and emotions. Children may also get upset or frustrated if they are finding it hard to wear masks, especially when talking, running, or playing. Make sure that you are reassuring your child that this is only being done in order to keep them, their friends, and their teachers safe. Your child may not be returning to school full time. They may not be returning to school in person at all this fall. So they are likely feeling like they are not connected to their friends while they're social distancing. How can you make this better? If your child's school starts to return gradually or is in a hybrid model, it's likely that your child will either be separated from many of their friends, and even if they do have friends in their physical classroom, they likely won't be able to talk or play with them in the ways that they have in the past. Letting your kid know ahead of time that schools may need to close again will help them be prepared for the period of adjustment ahead. Making sure that children are also aware of what school might look like will be very helpful. There are plenty of ways for kids to continue to stay in touch with their friends while social distancing. You may choose to allow your child to use safe and monitored online games, social media, and video chat programs that provide opportunities for them to connect, learn, and play with their friends. You could also encourage your child to use their voices online to share their views and support those in need during this crisis. It can be difficult sometimes when you're in a large group chat or on a digital platform classroom to feel like you have a voice or to feel comfortable speaking. Talk with your child about what would make them more comfortable. Maybe that would be giving them the space and opportunity to create a space in their home that makes them feel more like they're in a classroom. It could also be discussing with your child whether they prefer to use their actual voice or if they prefer to talk via chat. You can encourage your child to take advantage of digital tools and get them up and moving, like online exercise videos for kids and video games that require physical movement. Remember to balance online recreation with offline activities, including time outside if possible. In this new world of online platform and online schooling, your child may be very worried about bullying online, where they have typically only really considered bullying at school. Bullying online poses a lot of separate and unique problems, both for children and parents. A lot of times we find that those who bully tend to bully more regularly and more severely when doing it via online because they feel as though they will not be held accountable or that they will not be caught. If your child is worried about bullying either in person or online, it's important to let them know that they are not alone and they can always talk to you or another trusted adult. Be sure to talk to your child about how they should appropriately handle bullying online or in person. Who should they talk to? What should they say? And what can they do to avoid bullying? You can also take this opportunity to talk to your child about safeguards for online platforms, making sure that they're only interacting with trusted people, their classmates, their teachers, or friends, and that you have access to their online presence, meaning that you as their parent or adult are able to check in on their social media posts and view their timelines. It's important to also familiarize yourself with your child's school safeguarding and bullying policies, as well as the appropriate referral mechanisms and helplines available. You may also be wondering what else you could look out for as your child prepares to go back to school this fall. In addition to checking on your child's physical health, like we do every school year with school physicals, and learning when he or she goes back to school, you should also keep an eye out for signs of stress and anxiety. COVID-19 may be impacting your child's mental health, and it's important to demonstrate that it's normal and okay to feel overwhelmed at times. When in doubt, empathy and support are the way to go. Lastly, how and when should I continue to check in with my child about how they are doing? Checking in with your child to see how they're coping and if they have any new or persistent concerns is critical. It's important to be calm and proactive in your conversations with children. Check in with them to see how they are doing. Their emotions will change regularly, and you need to show them that that's okay. Whether at school or at home, caregivers can encourage children in creative activities such as playing and drawing to help them express and communicate any negative feelings they may be experiencing in a safe and supportive environment. Think about ways to regularly discuss how your child is doing each and every day. Take time to really listen and really talk to your child about their lives, their emotions, their hopes, and their dreams. Some examples would be to have a conversation at the dinner table where each member of the family gets to talk about their day, what's bothering them, or what went well. You can also make a variety of different objects to use before bedtime. Some people may rely on a cube where a child rolls a die that has different questions on each side. Some questions may include, what are you proud of today? What made you happy? Or what made you sad? You could also have your child rate their feelings or moods on a scale, or even simply write a note or write in a journal before bedtime. If you would like more related information on this topic or concerns related to returning to school and practicing safe social distancing during the continuation of the COVID-19 pandemic, I urge you to visit unicef.org/coronavirus, thecdc.gov, or who.int for more information. I can also be reached at my email address listed below, which is sarah@cacfingerlakes.org.